The ongoing drama between Jim Jones and Kanye West has all the hallmarks of a classic rap industry saga. It's filled with betrayal, pride, and a lot of public back and forth that shows no signs of stopping anytime soon. This latest chapter started with Kanye airing out grievances about a $2 million deal, claiming that Jim Jones didn't come through with something as simple as sending a PDF of the work they had been doing together. This ignited a series of comments from Jim Jones, who responded by calling Kanye's actions disrespectful and pointing out the hypocrisy in Kanye's behavior, especially when it came to supporting Jim's music and business endeavors. At the core of the issue is Kanye West's well-documented need for attention, which is something that has become part of his public persona over the years. Kanye's behavior is often erratic. One minute, he's aligning himself with the biggest names in fashion and music, and the next, he's lashing out at those who have helped him along the way. Jim Jones describes Kanye's constant need to be the center of attention, claiming that Kanye wants to be the most famous person in the world. This desire for fame can often seem like an obsession, especially when Kanye creates chaos around him to maintain relevance, even if that chaos is damaging to his relationships with others. Jim's frustration stems from the fact that he felt Kanye's focus was always on himself, never on the people around him. In Jim's recounting of the situation, he highlights how Kanye failed to acknowledge his album release, a moment that was supposed to be about Jim's success. Instead of showing support, Kanye, according to Jim, focused on his own interests. This lack of reciprocity left Jim feeling disrespected and betrayed, especially since he had already put his energy into helping Kanye when Kanye had asked for it. To Jim, this was a clear demonstration of how Kanye operates, a selfish pursuit of self-promotion at all costs, even if it means disregarding the people who have helped him along the way. One of the most telling aspects of this exchange is Jim Jones' statement that he could have exposed Kanye's lies in their private text conversations, but chose not to. This reveals just how much Jim was willing to keep things behind closed doors, giving Kanye the benefit of the doubt. However, Kanye's public comments about their partnership forced Jim to bring the situation to light. Jim's frustration is also rooted in the fact that Kanye seemed to think he could manipulate situations to his advantage, such as expecting Jim to be at his beck and call without showing the same kind of support when it was Jim's turn to shine. Kanye's disregard for Jim's album release and his lack of acknowledgement of Jim's achievements ultimately highlight the problematic dynamics of working with someone like Kanye West. Kanye's ego-driven behavior is no secret. Over the years, he's made countless public statements about how he believes he's the most important figure in the world, whether it's in the fashion industry, the music business, or the cultural zeitgeist. In a way, it seems like Kanye's entire career has been built around creating a narrative where he's the hero of his own story, and everyone else is just a supporting character. This makes it all the more difficult for anyone to work alongside him, as it's clear that Kanye is constantly positioning himself as the focal point, regardless of who he might have to step on to maintain that image. This conflict isn't just about a $2 million meeting and a PDF, though. It's about the way Kanye views relationships and his tendency to push people away when they no longer serve his narrative. It's a classic case of a person who is willing to burn bridges in order to stay in the spotlight. The issue Jim Jones has with Kanye is less about the money and more about the lack of loyalty and respect. Jim is a person who values loyalty above all else, and when Kanye failed to show the same support for Jim's endeavors, it was a slap in the face. The fact that Kanye seemed more interested in pushing his own agenda, even when Jim's album was about to drop, spoke volumes about his lack of empathy for others. At the same time, Kanye's erratic behavior is becoming more and more predictable. Over the years, we've seen Kanye flip-flop on numerous issues, from his opinions on other artists to his stance on social and political issues. He's known for his ability to say one thing one day and completely contradict himself the next. For instance, Kanye has oscillated between praising Drake and Kendrick Lamar and then disparaging them shortly after. His opinions seem to be driven more by who is closest to him at any given time, rather than any consistent set of beliefs. This has left many people, including fans and industry professionals, questioning his motives. It's hard to trust someone whose allegiances change as quickly as Kanye's, and this latest dispute with Jim Jones is just another example of how Kanye's unpredictable nature creates friction with those around him. In many ways, Kanye's behavior can be seen as a desperate attempt to stay relevant in an ever-changing entertainment landscape. With his controversial statements and unpredictable actions, Kanye knows that staying in the headlines is key to his success. However, the more chaos he creates, the more damage it does to his relationships, both professionally and personally. It's clear that Kanye thrives on attention, but at what cost? His actions alienate the very people who could help him. And as Jim Jones pointed out, Kanye's need to be the center of attention often comes at the expense of those who genuinely care about him. This is a dangerous game to play, and while Kanye may continue to garner headlines, the consequences of his actions are slowly catching up with him. Ultimately, Kanye's drama with Jim Jones is just the latest chapter in a long series of public feuds and controversies that have defined his career. Whether it's personal or professional, Kanye's relationships are often marked by tension and discord. His inability to prioritize loyalty and mutual respect in his dealings with others may one day leave him isolated, without the support system he needs to keep pushing forward. For now, Kanye seems to be thriving on the chaos, but it remains to be seen how much longer he can sustain this kind of behavior before it starts to take a real toll on his career and personal life. As the saga unfolds, it's clear that Kanye West is a master of making noise, but whether that noise will lead to long-term success or total alienation remains to be seen.